Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Christmas time. The sound of snowblowers are in the air. And on this episode, we have a Mustang again. Check that out. So this is my wife's Christmas present. 2001 Mineral Gray GT Coupe Deluxe. Pretty unmolested. It has like 89,000 miles on it. You can see the interior is just pretty freaking mint. Look at that. Typical backseat. Hasn't been used hardly ever. So it is all stock except for these sweet LED sequential taillights. See if we can get those going. Check this out. How bad is that? I love that. The previous owner did that. And also, he has a thing for LEDs, so replace the headlights. These have like the bathroom soap dish bar LED light in them, which is a running light. It looks pretty cool. They also have the typical aftermarket light moisture inside. So I'm going to show you how to deal with that. This one doesn't for some reason. Also came with wheel spacers on it on stock wheels and tires. That ain't cool. I already took the ones off the back. You can see they're sunk back in where they go stock. Give you a little look at this side here. Front spacers are still on. We're going to take those off. I left them because they did the right thing and installed aftermarket studs in there. So I can't take the spacer off. And then when I put the wheel back on, the studs are too long for the closed end lug nuts. It also has wheel locks on it, which one of them I think bottomed out because it broke off. So we're going to just zip those off and put regular ones on there. But check that out. This thing is in beautiful shape. And we're going to take a look at a couple things like the clutch and transmission situation. Because as mint as this thing is, he also added hood struts. There is the Furious 260 horsepower 4.6 liter modular V8. Because as mint as this thing is, it really feels like it needs a clutch. When I test drove it, the clutch, as soon as you're letting the pedal up, it grabs right off the floor. Big clue that it's gonna need a clutch. And it's a little hard to get into gear, and you can hear the synchros kind of working harder than they really should. So I think it probably needs a clutch, and at 90,000 miles almost, it should need a clutch. If you get 100,000 miles out of a clutch, a stock clutch, you're really doing a good job and taking care of it. So not a big deal. We're going to take a look at that and see if that's what it needs, or if it's something like a stretched cable, which it could, because these guys have a cable operated clutch. Comes out of the firewall right there, kind of makes a loop around and then goes back towards the transmission. We'll get a look at it from the bottom, but anyway, this thing is in great shape. You're probably wondering why I picked up another car. For one, it's my wife's dream car that she always wanted. This will be her third Mustang and the fifth that we've had as a couple. We've had 5. This will be the 5th Mustang we've had. So we are Mustang people, even though I haven't had one for a couple years and she hasn't either. Anyway, it was her dream car when she was 16 years old, and these cars were brand new. She always wanted one. She had a V6 one back in the day when we were first married. It was like a 99 green, not bullet green, but not the lime green. The other green that's close to bullet green, but not. Anyway, and it was a V6 automatic. That was all we could afford at the time. So typical me, I looked at getting that was a straight up piece of junk and fixing it up. And actually the day before I was going to go look at that car, this one popped up on my Facebook Marketplace feed, and just, it's in beautiful shape. It's the kind of car you want to buy. So anyway, looked it all over. The clutch is really the only thing I noticed, other than the moisture and the light and the wheel spacers that I don't like. So let's go ahead and get that off of there, and we're going to talk about why we got this car. Okay, we'll show you what's going on here. So here we have slip-on wheel spacer. Oh, it's a little, yeah. She's just a little suctioned on there. But these are not stock studs. These are longer, especially this piece on the end, which they're doing it right, but I don't like spacers. If you need a wheel spacer to get like the perfect fitment on your custom wheels, I get that, I do. But wheel spacers on stock wheels, just don't do that. I'll show you the rear ones here real quick. So these are the ones I pulled off the rear, and they are probably 2-inch spacers. So they are thick enough that what you do with these guys is you slip them on there, and there's a set of lug nuts that go in there, and then your wheel actually bolts onto here. But not a fan of the wheel spacers, especially screwing with how far the wheels stick out front versus rear. The factory spends time figuring that out. Boy, it's a long time since I went to mechanic school, but we're talking like almost 20 years ago. But scrub radius is a term that comes to mind. Changing the track width rear to front from what factory had. It basically screws with the way the car handles and steers and tracks. So sticking the stock front wheels out farther, what happens is now that the wheels are out farther for a given wheel input, the wheel is turning with more angle. I mean, not a ton, but it was enough that the steering felt a little bit dodgy and darty. Not like loose, but like too sensitive. And I could notice, and it's just dumb. Don't put wheel spacers on stock wheels, it's dumb. This thing might have a set of aftermarket wheels in its future, but for now, we're gonna get these off. We're gonna chop these studs off shorter so that the stock lug nuts will fit. Because as you see now that, well, even just taking the wheel off, not even taking the spacer off, there's the lug nut. I mean, there's no way. So I'm gonna have to chop them. So I'm gonna track down some plastic, because this actually has pretty paint, which makes me super nervous. Don't really like working on nice stuff, if you notice. So I'm gonna drape some plastic over the fender and measure how much I need to cut, and we'll get to chopping right after I guess I should take this. Get her. Yeah. Fixed it. Are those Cobra brakes? Let me know. No, they would say Cobra on them if they were. They're PBR calipers, and they look like they're dual piston, which I'm pretty sure the brakes I put on that guy. Yeah, those look different, don't they? Those Let me know in the comments. Are those Cobra brakes? Or are they just better because it's a new edge? So I've marked all 5 of these studs. I have some open-ended lug nuts threaded on there because I'm going to take the cutoff wheel and cut them off, and then I'll unthread the lug nuts off of there to get the burrs off of the threads. So here's one side go. And go. Okay, so there's 5 little hot nubbins. Sticking out the wheel. Where it mounts is about 1/4 inch thick, so that'll leave about 1.25 inches. Going into the lug nut, which is plenty, but it also leaves you a little bit of room in case you end up having some crud on the end of the stud or something like that. Okay. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's find our nuts. So I got 4, and then this is the wheel that I had to cut off the broken lock nut, the locking lug nut. So I had to pound a 3/4 inch socket onto it. So we're going to try to snug these down by hand and make sure we're good to go. Picked up a lug nut to replace the locking one from O'Reilly's. Yep. Just take extra care to really make sure you get them started straight. If you've never seen somebody use a star wrench like a boss, here you go. Okay, we'll just make sure that it's tight and they're not bottomed out, and there you go, front spacers deleted. Get a shot real quick of how the wheel sits back in there. Okay. All right. So rinse and repeat on the other side, and then we'll take a look at that clutch and see what's up with that. Okay guys, look at how freaking clean this thing is underneath. Let's get you a look there. Has oddly enough, stock cat back, stone stock. and some kind of stainless aftermarket X pipe. I'm not sure whose that is. It has... Oh, it's pipes. There you go. Front goes that way. So it's a Pipes off-road X pipe. So I'm betting that somebody at some point had a catback on here also, and then threw the stock catback back on there to sell it. Because catbacks are expensive, yo. So anyway, we'll do something about that. It sounds okay, but it's definitely too tame. So I see a catback in its future, and then we'll probably add in some high flow cats to this pipe. This is the underbelly of the Tremec TR3650 transmission, which is better and stronger than a T5. Another good thing these cars came with. The cool thing about this too, you can't really see much of the underneath, but the chassis and underpinnings, guess what? Same as that car, the Turd Bird. See all that? Quad shocks, gas tank, all that stuff. That stuff is a sister car to this one. Anyway, so what we're doing here is, I tried to look in the little inspection hole right there. Couldn't see very much, so I'm taking the bolt out. This is the cover for the clutch cable, and we're gonna look around in there and we're gonna see if it looks like the original clutch, or if it has been replaced. It should have been fairly recently, so we're gonna see if it looks like it has been replaced. If it has, then we're gonna start off by replacing the clutch cable, because it's probably stretched out. If the clutch is old and grody, and especially if it's a Luke clutch, which what Ford OE uses, then we're going to do a clutch on it eventually. Yeah, well, tell me about your day. That's, you know, it's understandable. I know you want to get outside, but it's crappy. It's crappy outside. It's real nasty out there. It's like four-wheel drive only type of stuff. Okay, so there is the end of the clutch cable. That all looks pretty good and well. Okay, let's try to get a look in there. See what we can see. That definitely looks like old stuff. See how the fingers on the clutch are out and almost touching the throwout bearing? That's pretty typical. It's because as the clutch disc wears, those fingers move out because the pressure plate goes in farther. All right, let's hop in it and take it for a quick spin. I'll show you what it's like. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's December in Montana, isn't it, Roni? So what I meant by let's hop in it and take it for a ride, actually, let's turn it sideways and see if we can shove it up against Vicky enough to fit the wife's Jeep back in here now that we're getting a little full in the garage. Let me know what you think we should do with this new project. This is going to be our new project for 2021. If you think we should try to improve the car the way it is with the engine and combination that it has, leave a thumbs up in the comments. If you think we should do a coyote swap or even something else, drop a comment below with what you think that is. Obviously, these cars are killer to do a coyote swap on because it's so simple on these cars especially. They're not new enough to have everything controlled by a computer, but they're new enough that the engine is the same platform as the Coyotes. So the downsides with this engine is you're not going to make a ton of horsepower naturally aspirated without spending a ton, and I mean a ton of money. So they're not good engines to build to make a bunch of power, but the way I see it, you can go one of three ways with it. Forced induction, if you want to make some power with this combo. Coyote swap, killer to do on these cars. Or the third option would be to just do some things like exhaust, better clutch, short throw shifter, lowering brakes, stuff like that, and just make a smidge over stock horsepower and just enjoy it. Because like I said, 260 horsepower, but they are fun cars because they're light and they're small, especially compared to those fat new Mustangs. Anyway, also I want to say thanks and a shout out to the guys coming up with my sticker designs that we're going to be giving away at the end of the video. So if you're a subscriber, watch for that. We're going to draw names at the end of the video, and we're going to pick 10 winners that we're going to send a sticker to. Continental US, well, we'll say USA. We'll include Hawaii and Alaska. So USA only for now, because I've never shipped something to a foreign country and I don't know how all that works. So USA winners for now only. I'll draw names. You have 2 weeks to shoot me an email to my Gmail account, which is deputydog359@gmail.com. And you can find that by clicking some things on YouTube that take you to my email, because it's the one that's linked to my account. But anyway, for the sticker design team, thanks to Rook, Owen, and Bryce for helping design all those stickers. You guys will each get one without having to draw your name. So with that, I'm going to leave you real quick with the cold start. We'll back it out of the garage. It's about all we can do right now because the weather's terrible. So thanks everyone for watching. We're going to get to the giveaway right after that. Alright everybody, I have to apologize in advance. I am just not that good at this video and computer stuff. Apparently, I'm sitting and editing this video and I went to have YouTube randomly pick one of my subscribers, well, or 10 of my subscribers to be winners of the sticker giveaway, and apparently that's not how it works. So, according to the Google machine, it will randomly pick a winner from your comments. So, I guess the way we'll have to do this now is drop a comment at the bottom of this video, and that is how we will pick the winners for the giveaway, but we won't be able to say who they are until the next video. So, leave a comment below, either say coyote swap that thing, or keep the 4.6, or whatever else you want. Just leave a comment. And I guess I'll have to pick, in the next video, have YouTube randomly pick winners for that, and we'll get you guys stickers sent out within about 10 days, so you have to get a hold of me with a mailing address before then. Sorry about the confusion. Thanks everybody for watching. Merry Christmas, and see you next time.